Okay, for your healthy art, first open a browser window, and you can either search a fruit or vegetable that you have in mind, or you can look up a list first, and then look up that fruit or vegetable. So I'm going to look up rutabaga, and click on images. And the first thing that you'll want to do is change, under tools, change the size to large. We want a nice clear image to paint from, and we don't want a pixelated picture. So this is a rutabaga, in case you don't know what that is. And what you'll want to look for is an image that has multiple fruit or vegetable, but not so many that it would be difficult to paint. So like this image is not a good picture. There's just too many things going on. I also would like you to have some kind of background. So if it's just a white background, that won't work. So this won't work either. And actually this image right here looks pretty good. There's two rutabaga, and there's some wood in the background, whatever it's sitting on, maybe a picnic table. So this would be a good image to use. It looks nice and clear. So the first thing I'm going to do is save the image. I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and we'll save it as rutabaga. It already says that, so we'll click save. And then I would like you to open Adobe Photoshop. And this might look a little different on my computer because my computer is different. There we go, Adobe Photoshop 64-bit. And once Photoshop opens, you'll need to open that image that you saved. So click File, Open, and then find your image. It's on my desktop. It's around here somewhere. There it is. And open. Okay, now what I'm going to do first is crop the picture. So over here on the left-hand side, this is your toolbar. This little icon, that's your crop tool. And I would like you to set the width and height. We're going to do an 8x10 painting. So I want my painting to be wider than it is tall. So for width, I will put 10 inches in, or just 10. For height, 8 inches or just 8. And your resolution, 150 pixels per inch. So now I'm on the image, and you can see my crop tool is right here. I'm going to click and drag to make my crop window. And I want you to use the rule of thirds to frame your image, and make sure that your crop box doesn't go outside of the actual image, because then you'll have like a bunch of white space, and that's how it'll print. So we don't want that. So I'm going to make sure I'm within that picture frame. And this looks good. I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to hit enter. And this is really zoomed in, so I'm going to hold the control button and tap the minus button. If your image is too small, you can hold the control button and tap the plus sign, and it will zoom in. So I think I like this, so I'm going to keep this. Now you'll need to print, so click File, Print. And when your print box comes up, you'll need to make sure that you change the printer, and we're going to be in the lab, so you'll need to make sure that you pick Lab C for color. We need a color image for this. You can see I just have a bunch of different printers on here, so make sure it says Lab C. Copies, oh, I only want one copy. Make sure that your orientation is correct, so whatever this box looks like is how it's going to print. So I have it on landscape style, which is good. I'll show you what it looks like if I change this to portrait. It turns into a square, I believe. Yep, like that. So we don't want that. If we see that, change it. Okay, so back to landscape, and I'll give it a second. And there's one box that I do not want you to have checked, and it's under scaled print size, scale to fit media. What that does is it shrinks the size of it a little bit, and we don't want that checked because it will change the 8x10 size image, and we need it to be an 8x10. Okay, so everything is set on here, and then I can click print, and I can go to the printer and wait for my copy to print. I'm just going to exit out because I'm not going to print right now. Okay, once you have your image printed, you are all set.